Do you feel like when you joined the military, did you ever anticipate seeing something like this happen to American citizens?
Of course not. Absolutely not. And here's a cool story. I so I was in the Army. I was in 82nd Airborne Division paratrooper. Got out from there, and I went to University of Massachusetts, and I joined the National Guard because if I joined the National Guard coming off active duty, I got a tuition waiver at any state school. So I got into the University of Massachusetts and went. And so I was there during 9/11. In fact, I was a political science major with a minor, a double major in international relations, and I was taking a class at the time called International Security Policy. I'm in this class. Meanwhile, while planes are hitting American soil, and so I leave. I don't think I had a cell phone at this time point, so. I go over to my girlfriend's house and I see there's all kinds of commotion going around. And so I go over and like, what's going on? And I get there just in time. And I end up seeing, I think live, the second plane hit. Maybe it was a relay. They were playing it so many times. So that was it. And of course, a lot of things changed after that. I was a huge Bush supporter, by the way. I was a big Bush supporter. I was a big supporter of, coming out of the military, and I trained for war. And that's what you train for 4 years. And it's kind of like, now this is going on. It's like, man, I almost want to go back in now, active duty, but I'm going to finish college first, and then I'm like, bomb them, kill them all, right? I'm cheering on the Iraq War, and then at some point, I really started becoming pretty adamantly anti-war. Now this is well after college, and I can't really think of when. And I was get to the point, like, what are we doing there? Like, I started questioning a lot of things. And I think this was even before really Trump kind of came into the picture, that I'm like, why? Like, I just don't get this. And, but being at University of Massachusetts, one of the most liberal colleges in America, and you got all these hippie, smelly lefties, right? Commies that, like, I don't want anything to do with, and they're there talking about the military industrial complex. And I'm like, you're a lunatic, get away from me. In fact, I want to beat you up. Right. And now here I am 20 years later. And I'm like, the military industrial complex and blah, 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 the deep state. And what's so funny is I look at those people from 20 years ago, and it's like, man, we have so much more. And if I had to bet, right, if I had to bet, they would be right now anti-Trump, hardcore, right? But if you could go back 20 years and say, listen, what if there was a guy that was against wars, and he stopped, would you support him? They would have said, of course I would. But these people have been so conditioned to hate an individual, he's become a boogeyman.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else. As long as you have one person that you can instill so much hatred for, you don't really have to stand anything, because all you got to do is get that many people to hate. Well, that only worked for so long, right? It didn't work. It didn't work in the last election. So, thank God that the tides have changed. Thank God that people have just become so skeptical now of things. So, no, I don't think at any point in my life would I have ever anticipated anything like that ever happening. But then I never would have anticipated, I never would have thought back then when I was under, and I'm sure that these words have come out of my mouth. I know this when it comes to the Patriot Act, where I've told people, if you didn't do anything, you've got nothing to hide. Man, did those words really come back to haunt me? But again, going back, we have so much in common with those people that I despised then.
Right.
And now I feel like I'm sort of where they were. But what's funny is, if they are the same ideology, they would probably despise me right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, never in a million years would I ever thought that would happen. Never in a million years would I have ever thought that the restrictions from COVID, I'm like, there's a cold going around. You got a cold, and you're taking everybody's civil liberties away. But the worst part worse for me that the government was doing this, right? Because this is the way I look at it. The government is inherently evil, right?
Right.
It's like people, right? We're all sinners. We are sinners. We are inherently sinners. We are evil people saved by grace through the blood of Jesus Christ. Okay. That is humans. Now, if you look at the government is just inherently evil. And I don't think that there's any fix for it.
Right.
But I didn't think that then. And I do now. So I never would have thought that they would have taken away our freedoms, that they would have just tried to crush so many people.
Right.
And it's still, I'm still in shock. And I don't know how you fix that at all, if you ever can fix that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it'd be a hard fix probably, but there's always hope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's more hopeful looking now than it was a couple months ago.
I agree.
Absolutely
agree.